And welcome, Lynx here. We are playing Chronotopia second skin. And yes, we are following the story of a very annoying character. Let's get to it. And hopefully, let's see another bad ending. Maybe not today, but soon enough. Hopefully. I'm looking forward to bad endings. They're the best. Prisoner of the past, she was haunted by all the sins she had ever committed and ceaselessly rehashed them in her head, grudges stirring her secret resentment. Only the vision of an imaginary idealized world could soothe her mind. Between two reveries, she would take a light meal alone her patio, which wasn't really hers, and contemplate the changing beauty of her garden, which wasn't hers. Servants couldn't notice the unusual behavior of the young recluse.
Have you seen the lady of the house?
Haven't come across her all day. It said that she rarely leaves her quarters.
Well, she's not in her room, she's on the patio. You'd think that she's avoiding us.
And yet she seemed like a great lady when she first came here.
No, she didn't.
Ever since she's been weird, almost sickly.
Do you think she's fragile?
No, she's stupid. Just stupid.
Isn't that possible? Why does she not say so?
They all shrugged on the fence.
Ugh.
Although the princess' days were tinged with gloominess, she would drastically change as soon as Tony paid her visit, and he would do so quite frequently, unfortunately. She would then appear dressed in her most beautiful attire, sure, and act with a sunny disposition. It was absolutely fake. The young people would too spend considerable time together, bantering in the sun or in the heat of their bedroom. We did not need to know that detail. Although Kionna was well aware of the self-serving nature of her lover, he would rarely come without offering her an intercourse. She had the impression that she was reliving the romantic beginnings of their couple, and she was fine with that for now. Right, I mean, whatever. In fact, the presence or the absence of the monarch would call the shots in the house, and it was like night and day. If Talia were here, the princess would show unlimited kindness and become unrecognizable to the servants. I mean, she's a faker, so. But as soon as he would return to castle, her face would instantly revert to a sullen one, and she would retreat into silence again.
Do you think the young mistress is hurting for love? What do you mean by that? She seems sad because the king leaves her behind so often. I saw her hide so much the last time it mattered that it could have blown off a barn's roof. Now that you're pointing it out, it's blindingly obvious. But if she's angry, how is she going to react upon learning that Lord Tal lied to her? He breaks all of the girls' hearts anyway. He's profoundly unable to get older himself and say the difficult things. Ever since Lady Kionna is here, he's neglecting the other mistresses. He was neglecting them until before her arrival, but you're right. This is what you get by putting majestic birds in tiny cages. They eventually die of sadness one day.
I mean, you try to make me sad, you don't.
Maybe that's the reason why he still hasn't had any children. God is punishing for his mistreatments. Heaven forfend! What tells you this one is not going to succumb to some strange illness?
The retainer pressed a hand against her mouth. Without knowing it, she had put words that were dangerously in line with reality on the uneasy feelings surrounding Kionna. Indeed, she herself was unaware of her biggest secret. What secret?
How weary I feel.
Is she sick?
Let's go. Ever since I have returned to Clermont, I keep yawning and rubbing my eyes in the middle of the day. I wonder why.
Because you don't do anything. Possibly. The princess lay down in her comfy little bed, hoping that a good night's sleep would cure her temporary feebleness. She hardly had time to think about it because the fatigue made her close her eyes in an instant. Shortly after, she was falling into darkness. Dude, if you think about it, if she died during sleep, that means she's not able to reset. I still think that the fairy at some point, because she now said that she would cast a spell that would allow her to remember stuff. I kind of would hope that the fairy would be like, you know what, freak you, I'm not helping you anymore. You don't deserve that help. I would not be surprised if that was the case eventually. Although she was lying down, she felt her body slip with her mind, further and further downward. Because she doesn't deserve that help. Her arms caught in her bedsheets, she continued to inexorably fall in a gracious movement. Slowly, almost involuntarily, her eyes opened and the darkness that was engulfing her took on a blue tint. Compressing her dress, she tried to take a big breath of air, but her throat seemed blocked. She could neither speak or breathe. Her chest on fire, she powerlessly watched her tears turn into bubbles and rise to the surface in an almost artistic momentum.
Flo, do not do that! Give me your hand, catch me, I beg of you, we can still be friends!
No! Heartbroken, the young... Okay, let's not freaking put a blame on Flo over here, okay? Because the said young Moor was the first one who broke someone's... maybe not heart, but still, someone's trust. Heartbroken, the young Moor let herself be submerged by the net curtains, which, seemingly driven by their own free will, completely surrounded her. She tried to get rid of the fabric, but she was suddenly feeling too heavy, as if she was mired. I wonder why first we were shown the droning and now the coffin. Whatever. She was still running out of air and windmilling her arms to no avail, colliding with a physical barrier in the process. The ground felt dreadfully cold, freezing even as the wind was blowing. The shroud dropped and she saw the flowers growing everywhere on her body, their roots planted in her skin, swallowing her blood.
No, someone! Anybody get me out of here! I do not want to die!
As Kionna was freaking overtaken by spasm, eyes wide open, retainers rushed to the bedroom to calm her down.
Madame! Is everything is right! You're only in your room! I have trouble breathing, free me! I beg you, free me!
In tears she was imploring, stomping, gesticulating. A lady in waiting tried to pat the back of her hand in a gesture of appeasement. Appeasement? Appeasement? Whatever. Appeasement, probably. But she automatically escaped from her grip.
Madame, wake up! You're among us! Nothing will happen to you!
Ooh, perhaps something did happen. Finally, her screams and protests weakened and she seemed to go back to sleep, to the great relief of the servants she had woken up. Wait, what? Woken, but she... Wait, so did she go back? Well, what? You tell me the maid is not... The maid? No, lady in waiting, right? That's what you called her. Yeah, there is lady in waiting. She's more attractive than Kionna. The next morning, when her ladies in waiting went to her bedside to ensure that she had recovered from the incident, they found Kionna to be as haggard as usual.
Madame, are you unwell? Not as far as I know why.
Yeah, because you would be able to tell.
You look a bit pale. I was thinking that some nightmares could have disturbed your sleep. Really? Yet I had none. At least I do not remember having nightmares.
What a liar. Filthy liar. What the maiden was completely unaware of is that she had fallen victim to regular night terrors that were shaking the whole house. Even though the commotion would wake all the retainers up, she had no recollection of it. I do not know how it is. I actually remember my dreams. Sometimes maybe not fully. But yeah, I do remember. You know, I would not be able to obviously describe some of them like step by step. But I remember what happened in them more or less. Those awful fits consequently did not fail to irritate them. Obviously.
She did it again last night. Guess what? I know this full well. I get out of bed in the middle of the night to calm her.
Oh, sorry.
Guess what? I know this full well. I got out of bed in the middle of the night to calm her down. Everyone was there for that matter, not you.
I prefer to stay in my bedding. I'm starting to become sick and tired of this racket.
You think I'm thrilled about it, baby? I too would give a lot to get a full night's sleep.
I told the lady the house was sick the night. No sane person would bow like that. It sounded like a pig being slaughtered.
I mean, you are correct about that. She's not sane.
Sick.
That's nonsense. Before coming to Clermont, I've been in Lady Seraphine's service at the main palace for a while, and I can clearly see the difference. Our new boss is hiding something, that's for sure.
What could she be hiding? I have no idea, but to scream that way, she had to have experienced war.
No, she has not. The servants display. I mean, she experienced something that definitely nobody would like to experience, but again, I'm gonna stay with what I said multiple times. Her choices led to that. And I'm not gonna feel sorry about that. Especially since, you know, her approach does not change. She's still only like, I deserve that and that. And so on and so on. Whatever. Anyway. One morning, Kionna, having risen up earlier than usual, she went to the kitchen to request breakfast. The matron prepared some oatmeal and placed the bowl on the table so violently that its contents nearly spattered her surroundings. Taken back, the young Moor grabbed it.
What on earth happened to her?
As the matron was turning her back to her, too busy watching a cooking pot, she distinctly heard her mumble.
Fla, don't do that. If I knew who this damn Fla was, I'd gladly kill her.
No sooner had she said that than Kionna went to lock herself in the room, shaken.
How can she possibly know Fla? I have never talked about her to anyone except my godmother, and it's impossible for Medea to tell them anything.
Are you freaking dumb? Have you not heard what they said? She came to a realization. Wait, why did I ask, are you dumb?
She is. Could it be that the retainers have been spying on me?
She's so dumb. They literally told you. You are having fits in the night. How do you not connect the dots?
It'd not be that far-fetched. After all, they are the ones who handed me over to Lady Seraphine last time.
No, they aren't. No, they aren't. What are you babbling about, you stupid? Okay, by retainers, she definitely is referring to people working in this mansion. They have not handed you over to the Seraphine. There was a, I don't know, maybe retainers, but who were living in the castle where the what's his name cheating husband and Seraphine is. So, whatever.
Besides, they have always been apathetic towards me.
Wow, you are surprised?
I'm convinced that they are all under the orders and ready to do anything to harm me.
I don't have power for that. The princess banged her fists on her bedside table. Bang your head by it.
I knew it. The retainers are against me. They're all my enemies. I can rely on them. I should stay alert.
Dude, the only enemy you have is you yourself. But
Maybe they have already been ordered to dispose of me by any means, but I will not let this happen.
from this moment on, Kionna frankly became hostile towards the other occupants of Clermont. She would not smile at them anymore. Did she ever? And frequently scolded at them so much that they had a hard time finding excuses for her irreverent conduct. Her days in waiting were the first one to acknowledge it.
Madam, would you like to bring us some refreshment? It's scorching hot today.
I would like that, but I will go to the kitchen myself to see how the drink is prepared.
You shouldn't bother yourself for so little.
Still, I want to do it.
Could you be worried about the ingredients we use?
I'm worried about you.
I do not understand.
Ignoring her maid's protest, the princess went past her and whispered in her ear.
I know what you are saying behind my back, deceivers.
And she vanished, leaving the poor girl shocked. Kionna had no doubt believed that she had silenced those whom she considered to be her enemies, but apart from the nightly incidents which were supremely exasperating them, retainers had not said anything too mean about her.
Yeah.
On the contrary, she had kindled what she was trying to smother. The girl immediately talked about the incident with the rest of the household.
You said the mistress was sick. I can no longer believe it. She's really sweet that we're all in a league against her.
Why, this is rather damning.
Does she have a plan in mind? Do you think she's trying to take possession of the domain?
Yes.
Don't be stupid, it's only a small property and she can only do what she wants here. You should really were after power. She would go to the main castle.
She's after the power.
What if that was her goal? Seducing the Lord, take Seraphim's place on the throne, and had her subsequently murdered?
It doesn't cold water. She just arrived and become Dali's mistress or gives her the opportunity to legitimate one day if she managed to give him and her. It's not that stupid. Her behavior dramatically changes as soon as the prince is around. We've attributed it to an indisposition of some sort or mood swings, but what if it was on purpose?
What do you mean?
Lady Kionna might be acting in a two-faced manner. Yeah?
I mean, if they are not wrong.
Even more bizarre. I don't know what you think, but I have zero faith in her.
Same! Man, come on. I'm with you. They all nodded in concert. I wonder if they are going to snitch in a way, or are they going to end her somehow? To be honest, it wouldn't be that tough. And tell the prince that she ran away. Although none of them truly understood the young Moor's intentions, they were now openly distrustful of her, which was feeding her growing paranoia. Good. Good.
Destroy her psyche.
I can rely on no one but myself.
Ooh. Literally the worst person you could have chosen.
I know that they have something against me. I can see it on their faces.
Dude, I mean, look at your face first.
In their eyes, but it's going to change soon.
Dali was visiting her a lot, but it was still not enough. She wanted more than fulfilling the role of a mistress. She was hungry for his affection, his support, but in reality she was just hungry to take over as the, queen, I guess, which she does not deserve. So she did not hesitate to repeat the same appellation.
I must unfortunately leave you, dearest.
So soon? Why not return tomorrow instead? We could spend the night together.
I've committed to having discussion with my consuls this very day for an important meeting.
Kionna held back a sneer. She had come to understand that her lover was very bad at lying. Whenever he would mention work, it was almost always because he had to go to his wife, and since she hated her, she fully intended to indirectly hurt her. Bitch. So once again, she looked at him with puppy dog eyes and begged until he yelled it.
Come on, he's...
Fine, don't cry, my lady. I'll stay until dinner. Is that alright for you?
Pleased with her success, she beamed an angelic... let's not call it that. She beamed with some kind of smile that gradually turned into a cynical sneer. Yeah, that's more likely. However, the prince spoke very little during the evening meal. He seemed to not have much of an appetite and kept glancing towards the clock. Yeah, I would like to get away from her as well. Hurt in her pride, the heiress understood that he was preoccupied by his spouse and frowned in turn. She tried a few times to unsuccessfully rekindle the conversation and the heavy silence settled for good. Once supper was over, Tali grabbed his coat, visibly in a hurry. As she could not allow herself be beaten, she strived to continue her petty campaign, so that he would spend the night at Clermont. Dude, I wonder if he will snap. What he usually gave in quite easily, his reply was sharp and firm this time.
No, my lady. Ask you to leave me alone. I'm expected at the castle.
Are you really sure that?
Absolutely sure, lady. Have a good night. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, she's becoming a pain in the ass, basically. And without delay, he jumps into his carriage and disappeared into the night. Again, he's trash as well, but... I really don't want her to be able to have some sort of revenge on... Even though it's not revenge, once again, on Seraphine. Again, revenge could only be called revenge if Seraphine remembered the events. This is a different timeline, this is not revenge. Anyway, Tali was a man who had difficulty saying no to anything. Really. And the dream girl who inhabited his secondary residence, so must be someone else he's talking about that we have not met, knew how to squeeze what she wanted out of him. Nah. But something was off. During his trip through the forest, he kept wondering why he had been feeling uneasy around Kionna lately. Good. You're feeling uneasy, that's good. He could not precisely put his finger on what was wrong, but one thing was for sure, all of this was going way too fast. Yeah? Let's go. He had only recently met her, yet she seemed to act as if she had known him her whole life. Yeah, suspicious man, right? Is that buzzing in the game? It was as if she was reading his mind, giving him exactly what he wanted to see or hear. They never argued or disagreed, and she never complained either. Such perfection was suspect. Yeah, I mean, perfection does not exist, let's face it. In fact, everything was going so well that the prince was unsure whether he should get closer to her or not. Don't, especially as she seemed oddly dependent. Left alone in the patio, Kionna sighed, disappointed.
This must be the first time that he is resisting me.
Good.
At least I have hurt his spells by holding him back a few more hours.
Adopt. Retainers saw her talking to herself and immediately gathered in the kitchen.
I told you so. She's skimming something. It seems she's separating the master and Lady Seraphine on purpose. Could be that she's aware of her existence.
But it's impossible. I pity the poor woman. She's done nothing wrong, at Lady Kionna's making every effort to harm her.
That's right, I've never particularly appreciated her, but I'd still rather serve her than this scammer.
Yeah? Let's go. What the princess failed to anticipate is that if Tali was a man who rarely gave his word, it was because he could not imagine breaking it. Thus, when he had promised his wife he would dine with her that night and his lover prevented him from doing that, she had pushed him into committing one perjury too many. Indeed, the monarch had ordered his coach driver to gallop and rushed into the castle without even bothering to take his coat off. He hurried into the banquet hall like a cannonball. Did he make it or not? Probably not.
Seraphine! Seraphine!
The queen, who had been waiting near the fire for a few hours, turned to him, intrigued by such panic.
I'm here, my lord. What's happening? Have you had an accident on your way back?
No, everything's quite alright, my lady.
But you are out of breath. Have you been running?
It's just I thought I would die with tonight, and I've broken my promise yet again.
I suppose you've been held up by some important business again. It's fine. You seem very busy as of late.
Seraphine was receiving his betrayal with such kindness that it upset him even more. Dude, in D4, that, you know, annoying main character of the game will repair their marriage. Then again, I mean, if someone cheats, don't stay with them. Run.
I've been lying for so long, and even if I warning you and treating you with coldness, you are still making effort to be here for me. This is too unfair. I cannot continue like this.
Imbued with a kind of determination he had never known before, Tali knelt before his wife and took her hand.
What are you?
Let me explain myself. I've not been entirely honest with you, my lady, and it is high time that I restore the truth.
The queen fell silent, too stunned to protest, and as her husband was taking a deep breath.
Ever since the physicians have been suspecting your infertility, I do not know how to behave around you anymore. I'm torn between my desire to obtain heirs and carry on my lineage, as my ancestors did before me, and my affection toward you, which is why I cannot resolve to repudiate you.
Tali lowered his eyes.
This is why I had convinced myself to having mistress and be away from my life as much as possible. My business trips were mainly excuses to avoid you.
Trembling, Seraphine clasped his hand a little lighter. Her eyes became clouded.
I knew it. I've always known it. Nothing would give me great to leave you a child, but I cannot. All the treatments and prayers
prayers will not help.
Prove to be ineffective, and I love myself for that.
I don't know you are feeling that way.
To be honest, I feel like most women would react like that. Huh. But we talked about that before.
Tali, my dear, we have known each other for all our lives. I can let the time dare be hurt by your silence and your absence for more than your frivolity. Do you hate me so?
Me hate? Seraphine, I have not forgotten those moments we have spent together since childhood. I care about you. I was simply afraid that I would hurt you more, and I realized that keeping you away has only made matters worse.
Really? You care about me?
I do. The more I think about it, the more I feel guilty for neglecting you when there is nothing you can do about our misfortune. From now on, we'll spend more time together. Yes.
Seraphine broke down in tears. Remember when certain someone said,
"Oh,
my scheming will hurt Seraphine." Let's go. Seraphine has been brought with happiness thanks to Kionna. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh my lord, I'm so happy. Would you promise me?
And for the first time in years, the prince took her in her arms and hugged her tightly.
I do swear.
Please kick her out from that possession back there, by the way. From that night on, Tali stuck his word and dedicated part of his life to renew the slackened ties of his marriage. He consequently visited Clermont much less frequently, not indulge in Kionna's whims anymore.
Let's go!
The young Mortus found herself left to her own devices even more often than usual, and she was not pleased with that at all. Meanwhile, I'm here like celebrating, let's open the champagne, and so on.
I don't understand. You so gradually drop his guard and become closer to me. I've done everything to this effect. Instead of strangling our relationship, we weakened it.
And the time's over, she paced her room up and down, obsessed with finding a solution to her problems. Lack of brain?
You must find a way to encourage him to trust me. If he says stating that I must conform them more closely to his feminine ideal, the closer I'll be, the less reasons he will have to return to his wife.
What the fucking... what the... Slut! Oh boy.
But how should I find out what he likes or dislikes in his potential partner?
Convinced that she found the crux of the problem, the princess began observing the retainers whenever she got to obtain useful information. Naturally, none of them would allude to the Lord's preferences during a conversation. No doubt they were ignorant of them. Nonetheless, Kionna persisted, and much more skillful idea came to her while she was spying on a scene that was, on the whole, rather mundane.
Can I continue for a weekly dice game?
You bet.
Are you sure it's good idea, man? You give this up? You're going to spend your pay within the week.
Come on, of course not. I meant to look like that Gemma, but I know how to control myself.
As if.
Speaking of controlling yourself, I'm not sure I'll be able to participate this time around.
Why there? Why then Gregor? Or Gregor? Gregor probably, right? Well, we tend to have a round of drink between each game, and you know how much I like this little drink. You like them all. Precisely, my wife thinks that I have a culpable penchant for drinking. Until now, I thought she was exaggerating, but given what happened the other night, oof.
You mean the time you started dancing on the table naked?
No, that was me. I had bet my clothes. I think he's talking about the time he wanted a Lord soup and we had to throw it in a hurry. The garden's flowers, do remember that we scolded several of them in the operation. Thank you for your subtlety, Romaine. The fact remains that I realized she had a point. I did not want to end up in a pitiable state, so I promised her I would learn to control myself and lose my alcohol consumption. I'm therefore a bit scared of what could happen during a dice game. Oh, that's rather brave of you.
Absolutely not. Let that be a lesson to you, Romaine.
Hey, I already told you I could quit playing for money anytime I want. I'd like to see that.
Rather than leaving you behind, we'll try to adapt. We'll keep playing, but with less alcohol. What do you think?
Thank you, Gemma. You're both true friends.
Meanwhile, Trash, listening to them. Kionna discreetly walked away from the main room while mulling over this information. Once she had reached her room, she locked the door as usual and sat on the bed. She's such a garbage of a person.
As I thought, some returns have weaknesses I'd get exploit. That Romaine fellow seems quite passionate about gambling and potentially debt-ridden as well. It would be very easy to bribe him with a few coins.
You don't have any coins.
Unfortunately, there is nothing I actually own here except my adornments. I'll certainly have to steal from the coffers.
You bitch.
But if I pay Romaine, he's bound to get accused of dipping into them himself, and he'll understand deception.
She lay down, contemplative. The first stars were starting to show up on the heavenly vault. Upon gazing at them, she speculated even more.
However, that other man, Gregoire, seems to be fighting against certain alcohol addiction. I could try to tempt him by offering some to the bottles of the wine that are usually reserved for my own use. They are much better quality than what servants get for themselves, and he will have trouble stopping after just one taste. Besides, there is nothing wrong with me sharing my stock.
There is everything wrong right now.
One drink is in exchange for exploration. It sounds befitting.
I just can't, man. Increasingly restless, she carried out her plan the very next day. Well, the very next day in the next episode, because I feel like ending it right now. You would think someone who was killed a few times would learn a lesson. But no. Constantly becoming worse and worse. Jesus. Also Medea, I mean, supposedly I think she observes right now. I wish she would step in, slapped her in the face or something like that. I mean, at the pace it's going, I think I can guarantee that I will not like Kionna at all. And I will support all the bad endings. And what I lost my thought right now. I know that they've, like, this mansion over here kind of created Kionna to be dislikable character, right? But maybe too much? I'm not sure. Anyway, let's end it. We'll continue tomorrow. And I think, yeah, I will actually jump onto Twitch to pull for Furina. Indeed. For when this video is out, well, the stream will be finished as well. But yeah, feel free to check out the VOD in the Twitch on the Twitch then, or wait for it on YouTube. Anywho, if you still enjoyed me constantly nagging about this annoying lady over here that I wish all the bad endings for, consider liking and subscribe. Always appreciate it. Game link in the description. so you can play it in peace without my nagging. And with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.